All right, we're here with Michael Terpin, CEO of the Transform Group. We actually had something really cool happen here just a few minutes ago. NASDAQ had the closing bell ceremony here at Money 2020, and as part of the lead up to this, they really embraced blockchain technology, saying it's going to be the future. They're going to be debuting some products with it later this year. How significant is that a development in this space?
Well, this is my third Money 2020, and the very first year there was only 3 little 10 by 10 companies, and all the big fintech companies were like, why are they here? And last year you had a lot more, and you had Bitcoin World, and so you had a little bit more of the banks and the payment companies looking at Bitcoin, and they really hadn't even started talking about blockchain that much. Chain was here last year. Now, it's a whole new world, and the fact that NASDAQ has been embracing a number of different aspects of the blockchain, both what they've announced recently with Chain, also with Noble Markets, which is a company that we work with at Transform Group. When they licensed software to them, that really sort of kicked off a whole slew of stories earlier this year about how the big financial players are finally starting to recognize the power of the blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Could you envision this a couple of years ago, this growing this quickly, the adoption, embrace of blockchain technology?
I actually thought it was going to grow quicker, but I think that Bitcoin is not dead, by the way. There still are a lot of things that are happening in the currency, but smart contracts, now they're kind of really just sort of using blockchain as sort of a catch-all. But 2 years ago, when this was all starting out, there was as much excitement about what we could do with the technology of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency as there was about sort of the aspect of the currency and using it for remittances and things like that. And I think now we're just getting a better feel for how exactly that's working in practical matters. And the blockchain is really sort of an umbrella term to describe the blockchain on both Bitcoin and on other private and public blockchains that are being used for a number of different purposes. And at least 30 banks now have embraced the blockchain for various aspects, and we're just now at the dawn of seeing title companies and digital asset management. All the things that were talked about 2-3 years ago are now coming to fruition.
Now you run an incubator and presumably using with companies that are using blockchain technology. What sorts of companies are you working with, and what are they doing here at Money 2020? What are they trying to get out of this?
Sure. So I do a couple things in this space. My incubator is called B-Commerce Labs. That came as a logical development from when I started BitAngels, the first angel network group for Bitcoin and blockchain investment, which is still active. It's got about 500 members, and we really look at sort of early level seed funding. From that, I then got involved with Gil Pincina, the #1 angel on AngelList, and Nick Sullivan from ChangeTip, and we run the Bitcoin syndicate on AngelList, which is one of the top 20 syndicates overall. And we've invested in sort of the next round, then sort of the A round or lead up to the A round for companies like Blockstream and Purse.io and some other great companies that have really gotten to that breakout velocity level. We like that. And then B-Commerce Labs is an incubator, not an accelerator. So we're not doing classes and having people run off to Las Vegas. This is the ideas of myself and my partner, Jim Blasco, who has been programming on the blockchain since 2009. So really from the beginning. And so we have worked on a number of different projects together. One at Transform Group, where we created a coin called the Voxel for one of Halsey Miner's companies called Voxelis. And that's actually getting ready to have a crowd sale next week. That's a private blockchain. It's a private coin. But I think there's going to be this new wave of sort of privately managed coins, because you have security that you don't have in a lot of other areas in terms of, right now in Bitcoin, and I'm not anti-Bitcoin at all, it serves different purposes, but what Bitcoin is like, if we don't solve certain things about what the miners are going to do, all of a sudden there's a panic about what's going to happen. So for, getting things between governments that don't want to participate with each other. You have this trustless thing called Bitcoin. But there are literally hundreds of private blockchains. In the future, there'll be thousands of private blockchains. And if you basically want to use cryptocurrencies, different aspects of being able to do things instantly with smart contracts and other assets, but you want to be able to go and control how it works. For example, with voxels, we don't have 11% inflation every year. We get to control that, so that it goes hand in hand with the rise of virtual reality.
All right, Michael, thank you for your time. Much appreciated.
Okay, thank you.